Hello and welcome back to Mate's Tottenham blog and to another Tottenham Hotspur Transfer Talk breaking news video. Today we're talking about the update from Matt Law from the Daily Telegraph saying that Daniel Levy will not allow Dele Alli to leave Spurs this January. Before we get into the video, if you want more transfer news content plus the Tottenham Fan Voice podcast, live watch-alongs and any sort of content you could want from a Spurs channel, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button down below and hit the like button if you enjoyed this type of content. I will be streaming later tonight, 7 p.m. GMT on Thursday, talking about the Dele Alli situation in a bit more detail. So make sure to stick around for that as well if you want to. But this news is coming from, as I said, Matt Law from the Daily Telegraph, who, according to the Spurs Express on Twitter, is a tier 1.5 source. And they're saying that Chairman Daniel Levy will be reluctant to let Dele Alli go to Paris Saint-Germain on loan this January, amid fears that the club could need to utilise the attacking midfielder later in the season because of COVID and injury worries. And it's kind of the same line we've been hearing for quite a while, but coming from an increasingly more significant source. And Fabrizio Romano said yesterday that Dele Alli is pushing to leave Spurs, but he still loves the club. And this is something I think that will be very important in this entire situation. And again, I'll be going into much more detail in this when I'm streaming later. But I think Tottenham are taking the right approach to this situation because it seems as though it's Dele Alli versus Jose Mourinho, and Mourinho, we know, is not a fan of Dele Alli. He doesn't want him at the club. It's been very well spoken about, but it seems as though the coaching staff around him, the club's kind of hierarchy, and the people who've been there for a bit longer feel as though Dele Alli does have the ability to recapture the form at Spurs and become a very, very good player for us, a very beneficial player for us in the near future and also in the long-term future. And I think that the long-term future part is really key in this. I think Jose Mourinho, we all know, is not a long-term manager. He'll be at the club for another 2 years, 3 years max, if it even does get to that. Whereas Dele Alli, he could be to Spurs what Frank Lampard was to Chelsea, what Steven Gerrard was to Liverpool. And look, obviously he needs to refine that form very quickly if he does want to be that good for us. But I don't think it's worth sacrificing a player like Dele Alli for a manager like Jose Mourinho. Now, I'm not Jose out. I'm not. I absolutely love Mourinho, and I think he will be the man who will bring success to this football club. But I don't want to lose a player like Dele Alli, a long-term asset like Dele Alli, for Jose Mourinho. And look, maybe it's working in our favour that we have injuries in midfield at the moment, and we have perhaps less squad depth than we thought we did earlier in the season. And it looks like we won't be able to bring in our midfield summer or January targets. So maybe we are being forced into keeping Dele Alli at the club. But I think that will work to our advantage because he is just an exceptionally talented footballer. I absolutely love him, and I know a lot of the Spurs fan base want him to turn this around and believe he can turn this around. And I think a loan to PSG, I said earlier in the season, a loan to PSG might be the best thing for him because he can go to a league where he can refine his form. He'll come back with a sense of confidence. It may be a false sense of confidence given the level of opponent he will be facing in the Ligue 1. But that was before Mauricio Pochettino went there. And I feel if Ali goes to PSG now, if he does link up with Pochettino again for 6 months, it will be even harder for him to come back into a sort of environment that has been created for him at Spurs by Jose Mourinho. So I think the last thing we need now, simply because Pochettino is the PSG head coach, is Dele Alli going on loan to PSG. And that seems to be the main transfer rumour and the main thing that could happen if Dele Alli is to leave the club this January. And I really don't want that to happen because I don't think we'll see Dele Alli back at Spurs, back in a Spurs jersey again if this does happen. So the line coming out of Matt Law from the Daily Telegraph is that Chairman Daniel Levy is refusing to sanction a loan move for Dele Alli to Paris Saint-Germain this month with fears over leaving the squad short. That's a Telegraph Sport via Daily Hotspur on Twitter. Make sure to leave down in the comments below your opinions on this one. If you think Ali should stay, if you think Ali should go, and why as well. As I said, I'll be talking about this in a lot more depth, including why I think Ali should be getting more time on the pitch. So make sure to come around for that at 7 p.m. GMT on Thursday this evening, for those who are watching this video early, and we'll talk a bit more about that. Subscribe to the channel if you have enjoyed this video, if you want more of this content, and please, as always, make sure to smash that like button, and thank you so much for watching.